Hello and welcome to the show. We are back at the Pine Hills rally stage with 3 more vehicles trying to, well, go as quickly as possible. We are starting with another pickup truck. This time, though, it is the Satsuma, and it is going to be our first Rotary-powered vehicle. When you give me the option to have a Rotary turbocharged pickup truck, that's something I'm going to be interested in having a go with. As far as speed goes with this, it's likely to be quite a quick vehicle. Relatively powerful is this engine. Might not be the easiest of, well, vehicles to drive. Yep, that's very sideways. If we could stop with the sideways-ness through that first call, we're going to spin and around. And ooh, I tried to be a little bit too clever there. I tried to get going a little bit too soon. We might just about be able to recover that. We can recover that one. It's a lot of oversteer. There's a lot of oversteer in this one. Towards sunset we go. This time, if you use any power whatsoever, it's just going to wiggle. We're still wiggling, and now we're going to go backwards and around. I thought the blue collar was a little bit difficult to drive. This, this is a real case of far too much power for far too little grip. This can only go well. I'm kind of not wanting to put it up to too many miles an hour just yet. What does it do across the bumps? It has a bad time. It has a real bad time across the bumps, and a skid, and a stop. I could probably have, kind of guessed that one. It's not had spectacular crashes so far, disappointingly. Meat Peak is about to go, I think, quite badly wrong. Oh, no, we got away with that one. Surprisingly. No, that's not good. We didn't get away with that bit, though. Oh, we got wheel spin at a real bad point. Clipped the bridge, and, well, that tore the entire back of the truck off. I'm not sure there's going to be any point I can get to full throttle on this course. I thought I could there. Nope. Nope, that was not the place to do it. Second is very, very wiggly, so let's try third through these corners. It might help calm the truck down. I think the problem might be it's just too naturally oversteery. And around we go. That was, yeah. There is not much rear grip. There is not much rear grip at all. That wasn't even crazy on power oversteer. That was just trying to take the corner and the back end let go, and I couldn't save it. Oh dear. Okay, we clonked the floor a little bit there. Now, don't go flat out. Across the Maple Bridge. I can't stop that. We're going in the water. The lack of grip in this car is scary. We've just got a Satsuma submarine. Like, the car's in perfect condition. Just at the bottom of a lake, unfortunately. So, we have got to, be quite mindful, and I've carried too much speed and turned in too late, and we're going to go for another spin. And, not quite a roll yet. It has to make it onto its roof. And it's come back down. Still not rolled. Still not rolled. I mean, that's the second most damaging crash we've done. Bloody hell. Destroyer is coming up next, and we might not have fun times here. We just go, we're going to spin. Oh, god damn, the oversteer in this is so bad. The front end grip is quite okay. Whoop, fire! Why is there fire? What? Why is my truck on fire? I didn't do anything silly. We literally just spun and then I stopped. Guys? That's not normal, right? Well, Twitchy McWheelspin here is ready for yet another attempt at getting down this Pine Hills rally course. Oh dear, the suspension is actually doing a half-decent job, it has to be said, of dealing with the bumps. The rear tyres struggling a lot more with the power. I mean, the lack of weight over the rear probably not going to help matters. Just the sheer amount of power going on in this truck not really helping matters. But even when it's off-power stuff, it still wants to go for big oversteer moments, and trying to catch all of that is not so easy. That's third gear through there. I think we are going to have to keep it in third in just a vague hope of calming the truck down. There is plenty of acceleration. This is probably as fast accelerated as like the K-Series and so on. I just can't use it because we don't have the grip to deal with it. Across the Maple Bridge we go, all out of shape. I might still be able to gather this one back up, though. We do somehow fight the truck and get it stopped through the pit stop chicane. We go. Now, Destroyer already spun here once. Let's try and not do that again. Gonna have to be patient with the truck. It's not gonna like this. It's got way too much power and way too little rear end grip for the climb. Across the line we go. Ooh, ouch. And there's fire again. It's quite yeah, quite a fiery truck. Much as we said, actually real big damage for the across the line jump. Might be the biggest damage we've seen for a car gone across the line. Not the most spectacular. I don't think anything's beaten, or nothing's beaten the late model's flip as of yet. But that's a lot of damage to the Satsuma truck. Even the off-power oversteer, but the on-power oversteer is ludicrous. The off-power oversteer is a problem. It's very, very difficult to drive. Way too much power. Way too little grip for a course like this. A slight tendency to catch fire. Less than ideal, but thankfully only after we've finished runs, it didn't start catching fire on the way down. Yeah, that's a quite terrifying vehicle to drive, but it has made its way down the course. So we move from a crazy rotary pickup truck to a racing muscle car. This Moonhawk, I think, is likely to be a pretty good choice of car down here. As we can see, lovely, big, slick racing tyres on the car. Helpful for getting around the nasty hairpins. Plenty of power for that acceleration and so on. The downside is, well, suspension set up for racing, low, stiff, is not likely to be a huge lover of some of the bigger crests, some of the bigger bumps around here. That being said, race cars so far have been the way to go. While rally cars better across the bumps, the slick tyres on the race cars help them with the hairpins. You can carry more speed through these corners. This is so nice compared to the compared to the rotary pickup truck last time. There's actual grip. I can get to full throttle in this car with some sort of confidence. It's going to be 80-ish miles an hour. I think we had to lift just a little bit before that. Oh, I got a twitch. I twitched it. We twitched it. It's gone, and I can't really do very much about it going across there. Oh, it's going to come to a rest. Yeah, that's perhaps not so unsurprising. Not so unsurprising. We'll go off down the meat peak. Still haven't had a roll this episode so far. Also, that's a fairly substantial amount of damage to the Moonhawk. I'm definitely glad I chose to drive these cars in this order. Going from the Moonhawk to then driving the crazy pickup would be quite cruel punishment. Yeah, this is actually, oh, I say it's quite nice to drive. I've thrown it away into turn 2 with a bit too much bravery. That's the downside of having so much more in the way of grip. You might get a little bit complacent. That's very, very stuck, and very, very much missing both of its rear wheels. I didn't realize it lost both of them. Impressive. Towards the Meek Peak. Can I fly straight down here? We can just about get away with all of that. Oh, and a little bit of frame rate wobble. That might not be so helpful as we're coming into the pit stop chicane. Not going to make it. Damn. It was one of those choices. I either don't turn in and miss the corner, or I try and turn in and carry the speed. I thought I might be able to get away with it. Almost. I was, what, a headlight and a bit away from getting around and making that one. God damn, that bit's mean as well. I can get to full throttle with confidence in the Moonhawk, which is always a nice thing to be able to do. Oh, I'm out of position down the Meek Peak. We're about to have a bad day. I knew as soon as I turned in there we were going to be in trouble. Climb, brake. Oh, we're not quite in lock hydro at the moment. I think I can actually recover this one as well. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Come on, Moonhawk. You can do it. You can climb out of this one. It's maybe not. Okay, fine. You will just be stuck there for eternity. Brakes all round. Will be good. Yeah. Hit the bump on the inside, and once you've done that, you're pretty much a passenger. We head up towards the Meek Peak once more. Oh, locked it up. That's not good. That's the first big tumble of the day. That was a bit too vigorous under brakes. Ooh, well, I mean, the drive shaft's gone, but even if it wasn't, we would never move anywhere because we've managed to kind of banana ray our own chassis. That's a big... That's the sort of crashes people came to see, I think. We're going to have a little bit of a wiggle on the way in. That's not so good. I'm not sure we're going to survive the meat peak. Well, I mean, we've survived it, but we have gone skating off and I can't get it back on the track. Survived it without major damage, but yeah, that wasn't a good line. That was not a good line to be taking. The Moonhawk may have plenty of grip, but it does feel good through a lot of these early corners. The bumps are real problematic. I can't really, or I don't feel like I can really make the most of that grip, certainly through turn 1 or the run into turn 2 either. I feel like I've got to be so careful because I'm just not trusting the car to react funnily across the bumps. These next couple of hairpins feels pretty good through. It feels like we can carry good speed. It feels relatively composed, and despite being, you know, a high-powered rear-wheel drive racing muscle car, traction is not really an issue whatsoever. Locking the brakes up towards the meat peak is not a good thing to do, but we are down it safely as we're going to jump onto the bridge, get on the brakes again, nice and early, control the car into the pit stop chicane. That is good going. We might brush the wall on the way through. We can survive all of that now. Destroyer. We shouldn't have too many issues with this car. Again, big rear tyres, racing slicks, a lot of grip. In fact, we aren't even spinning the wheels all the way up. That's good going. That's very good going for a rear-wheel drive car. That might be the best a rear-wheel drive car has done, actually, climbing that. Ooh. That is, I think, the best a rear-wheel drive car has done, climbing that final ascent. The finish line jump has destroyed the entire suspension. It's all collapsed in one go. It's all gone. This thing would not do well at the driven till destruction. However, around here, doesn't matter. It's not on fire either, so I guess it's an improvement from the set. But yeah, a good fun car to drive through the technical bits. Plenty of traction, even for very, very high-powered muscle car. That was first gear all the way up that final climb, and it was absolutely okay with it. The bumps were a problem. The bumps were a fair big problem with this car. I'll be curious to see how fast that has gone. I think it was a pretty solid vehicle. The third and final vehicle to take on this rally stage is going to be the Legrand I've got, of course, for the highest powered sport version V6 supercharged engine in this one. It is front-wheel drive, which we haven't seen too many front-wheel drive cars go down here. The Rally Covet was the only one, I think, so far. We'll see kind of how it goes. I suspect we will potentially have problems come the climb up the hill at the end. So far, I'm actually quite impressed with this car. It's just driving quite nicely. Now, it's not got slick tyres on it, of course, this still being a vague road car. Where am I going? Where am I going? It doesn't turn like the Moonhawk. That was about the thing I was going to get to. It's not going to turn like the full-on race cars. It's certainly not too sluggish, though, on that old acceleration front. That's not 75 miles an hour that we're turning into soon. Ooh, that's a new one. That's a new one indeed. We're going to go across the tumbling fields, I think, and there we go. Yeah, I had a bit more turning than I was expecting. Having to understeer a little bit earlier on. Thought I would try and counter that. A little bit too early. And that's the Legrand over. Pleasantly surprised at how nice to drive this car is. I was expecting it to be pretty awful, quite frankly, and it's not. I'm a little bit of a moron. I'll say that much. I know I said we haven't tumbled over that many times, but that was quite a poor tumble. Yeah. Little bit too soon on the power there, and that front-wheel drive understeer is a bye-bye car. While I am finding this Legrand a surprisingly nice car to drive, I have got to remember it's not a race car. While it is pretty quick on the old acceleration front, it's not doing too badly down towards Snake Pit there, it isn't a race car. It doesn't have the turning of the full-on racing vehicle, so I need to not expect it to have that level of grip. Suspension is doing a good job, very much so actually, around Snake Pit and so on. We're getting, that's about 56 miles an hour across the bumps, and it wasn't on edge, it was perfectly composed, perfectly happy across that section. And the front wheels are doing a really good job of putting the power down. You know, there's a lot of power going through the front wheels of this, and we're not seeing crazy front-wheel drive wheel spin from the car, which is lovely, lovely indeed. Makes my life a lot easier. Are we going to see, well, we see a lot of bouncing at the bottom of the meat peak, but we can get away with all of that. It's nice and composed up towards the pit stop chicane. Through there we go. This time not, I think the first car today to not hit the petrol station. The rear did not like that section, I'll say that much. Right, first gear heading up through a destroyer we go. Now, we might struggle. It's not too bad at all, though, for the Legrand. Perhaps didn't quite have the ultimate power or traction for the very end there. The diff may not have helped on that final ascent either. It's a horrendously steep ascent, that one. It really is a gnarly... You can see where the road begins down there. It has to climb so fast up that section, such a steep angle that, yeah, cars do get a little bit unhappy. Struggled a slight bit with that. Elsewhere, though, I'm, yeah, really impressed with the ease at which this car is to drive. It did not take very many times at all to get through, to complete a run with this car. Really nice car to drive, surprisingly responsive, does very well at dealing with a lot of power through the front wheels. So, yeah, I'm really impressed with the Legrand being a nice handling, sporty-ish vehicle. So, on to our leaderboard. The Moonhawk race car will be the fastest of today. It will go into a 6th place, a 105.8, into an already very crowded area of the table, this top 10. I might have hoped the Moonhawk to go a little bit higher up. I think in the end its difficulty with the bumps is where it loses the time. It's not very far off, like the Bolide race car, the K series and so on, but yeah, its difficulties carrying speed across the bumps, I think, caused that car the biggest issues. Perhaps the other two vehicles are the biggest surprises of the day. The Legrand Sport will go into 12th at 111.4. It's only a couple of seconds down on the Covert rally car. It's just a slightly sporty road car in the Legrand, and I think that's really, really good going in terms of speed. And likewise, the Satsuma Rotary pickup, as crazy and difficult as that thing is to drive, a 111.9 is actually quite fast. It's only about second down on the D35 Pig. All-wheel drive, off-roady vehicle, and the Satsuma had no real traction. It's faster by a fair bit than the Barstow Night Snake, so very, very good going from the crazy pickup. That, though, is going to be it for this video. As ever, I shall link all the mods used in the description, so you can download them, have a go with them yourself. But I thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.